Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hot Tips for a Cool Planet. What's up?
Whee! Welcome.
Great to have y'all here. Happy Earth Day, happy Earth Week, happy Earth Month. This is the only planet with a Beyoncé on it. So we're going to talk about some pro tips from two of my climate besties, Berna and Diandra. It's so wonderful to be here with y'all today. Thank you so much to Aspiration for hosting this amazing conversation where we're going to dive into tips on how you, yes, you watching this, can help build a cooler planet Earth. So without further ado, Berna, Diandra, how are y'all? It is so great to have you here.
Hey y'all, doing good.
Good. Yes,
Diandra,
loving it,
you want
feeling it, earthy.
Yes, absolutely, Berna. Diandra, do you want to give us a quick intro into who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey everybody, I'm Diandra Morissette. My pronouns are she, her, and I am currently calling in from the traditional lands of the Nisenan and Miwok tribes. I'm also currently the executive director of Intersectional Environmentalist, or IE for short, and we're a climate justice collective imagining a more equitable and diverse future for environmentalism. And I'm super stoked to share my hot tips with y'all today. Berna, do you want to give the crowd a little bit about you?
Yes, thank you so much, Deandra. I am super hyped to be here. Thank you for having me and for allowing me to be amongst the brilliance of the two of you. My name is Berna Annette. I am a financial hype woman. You've never heard of that before because that is a job I made up for myself. I am a Filipino American daughter of immigrants. I'm zooming in from unceded Ohlone territory, from the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. And I am, like I said, financial hype woman. Really, I'm a financial educator. I teach people budgeting, saving, debt, investing tips that a lot of us, especially from marginalized communities, were never taught ourselves. I like to say that the financial world is hella male, hella pale, and hella stale. And here we are trying to figure that out. I'm so excited to be in conversation about money and sustainability, two things that don't usually go together. And I feel like we're gonna work that out today. So thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Berna. Yeah, and y'all, I am coming from Warm Springs territory in Bend, Oregon, and we wanted to start off with the land acknowledgement because we think it's so important to acknowledge that all of our financial institutions and banks and this money system in America is built on stolen native land. And so thank y'all so much for being here. We are so grateful to Aspiration. Again, we are so grateful to our fabulous ASL interp, Johnny, for being here today. And without further ado, let's dive in. We're each going to share 3 different hot tips on how you can build a cooler planet. So we'll go round robin here. We'll pass from Diandra to Berna to myself, and we'll share our hot tips in quick 7-minute rounds. We're going to hit you with 3 rounds, and then we're going to close this out because we know your time is so valuable. We're going to hit you with this in 30 minutes. So without further ado, shall we begin? Berna and Diandra.
Let's go.
Beautiful. Let's dive in, y'all. So maybe Berna, let's start with you. I would love to know, we would love to know, what is your number 1 hot tip for how we can have a cooler planet?
I would love to open it up talking about my favorite thing in the world, which has kind of an ugly name. I didn't name it, unfortunately, but it's still something I love very much. I'm going to talk about budgeting. My first hot tip is create a save the world budget. As folks out there might know, and you two might know, I could spend literally hours talking about budgeting specifically, but basically, budgeting is all about controlling where your dollars go. It's about finding organization within the money that you have. And what people don't think about, when we think about budgeting, we think about, okay, I need this money for my rent, I need this money for my adulting stuff, I need this money for my fun stuff, I need this money for my future. What we don't think about is that we can actually create pockets of our budget to contribute to the ways that we want to see the world change. We can contribute to the people and to the organizations already doing the work that you want to see in the world. We're going to talk a lot about sustainability today. One thing that, as a financial hype woman, I want to see folks create budgets that are sustainable for them, aka you can give continuously and repeatedly and whatever you can for your life or as long as possible. I think we've seen the last 2 years that something wild happens, something scary happens, and we want to just give in that moment. But I'm all about sustainable giving on your end. And so I like to tell people to basically creating a save the world budget means creating a pocket in your budget, a line item, almost like a bill, like you pretend it's your own bill, and you dedicate a small amount or a sustainable amount of money towards whatever you care about every single month. It's just like the way you pay a phone bill or an internet bill. Some people call it their Save the World bill, their mutual aid or mutual funds bill. Sometimes I call it my privilege bill or like my privilege rent. It's like, this is the rent that I pay to the world, or I pay forward for the privileges that I enjoy and that I have. So you might look at your budget, see all the things you spend on, and go, how much can I afford to give every single month to a cause I care about? $10, $5, $20? It does not matter. Like, I'm not looking for like, how big can you get it? It's, can you sustain it? You could change the cause every month. You can, stay dedicated to one cause. But what is really helpful, I found the last 2 years, is if you have a created Save the World budget or a privilege budget, whenever a new world crisis comes up, you might change your focus. You know exactly how much you can give without sacrificing your own comfort, your own safety, your own survival. You can give while also sustaining your own life. And that makes me feel so good that we can sort of do both at the same time and not worry. We'll not have to sacrifice too much for ourselves. And then if folks are wondering, like, yes. And one last little thing, if folks are wondering, like, where can I start? Where should I point my privilege bill or my Save the World bill? I want to also acknowledge you can pay your land tax. So land tax is a way of acknowledging with your dollars that every single day, non-Indigenous folks like me live on stolen land from Indigenous peoples. And so paying your land tax usually depends on the area you're in, but it's basically a way to give your dollars to support the Indigenous folks of the area in whatever resources that they might need. The wonderful thing, regular taxes, we pay them in April or whatever, and we stretch and it's terrible. You can pay your land tax year round. You can pay whatever amount that fits your budget. You can pay it anytime. And so I would say start with land tax.
I love it. Thanks so much, Berna. Snaps for Berna.
Thank you.
Diandra,
Thank you.
You got something for us?
I do. Well, first off, I feel so inspired to revisit my budget. So maybe we can chat after this. No, I'm so excited. But my hot tip, which I think coincides with that one quite nicely, is to unplug when you unplug. So when we think about it, a large majority of the energy that powers our homes does come from fossil fuels. So unplugging, as in literally taking a break from our electronic devices, reduces our energy demand and our carbon emissions. I found this, I thought it was so interesting. According to a Cornell University study, the average home, get ready for this, the average home has 20 appliances that just stay unused and plugged in, which not only hurts the environment, but it adds around $200 to our energy bills, which could be reallocated if you're revisiting your budget, right? So a great hack is just using power strips to unplug multiple devices at the same time. And some things that I'm remembering to unplug during Earth Month and beyond, and just really building better sustainable habits, is to make sure that my phone charger is maybe traveling with me instead of staying plugged into the wall. The laptop chargers, the electronic toothbrush chargers, if you roll like that, and hair dryers and coffee machines, y'all. Unplug when you unplug. And that is my hot tip. But Pattie, do you have anything for us?
I love it, Berna. That is beautiful. I will definitely be unplugging my curling iron, as you can tell. My hot tip, which kind of dovetails off of all the things y'all are talking about too, when talking about budgeting, is the power of shopping locally. This is such a beautiful way that you can make a difference with your dollars. When most of us think about money, what we don't realize is that we are voting every single day with our dollar who we want to support. and who we want to see thrive. And so I think that a huge way that we can be more invested citizens and more invested money spenders, money earners, is to shop locally, to support your local economy, to support those local farmers, those local ranchers, those local people who are really, really, really doing it and are doing it in sustainable ways. And what's really awesome is when I use my aspiration card when I shop locally, I plant a tree with every single purchase.
So, Pattie, how many trees have we planted with all of these fabulous, wonderful makeup purchases?
Quite a few. It's actually really cool. On the back end of Aspiration, I can actually count, and it's a couple hundred trees that I've gotten to plant via not just makeup purchases, but also just like purchases in general. But yes, we are buying a lot of makeup because it takes literally a lot of paint to paint this face every day. So quite a few trees, but it's really awesome. I get to track so much about the trees, where they're planted, what organizations Aspiration is partnering with. It's really, really amazing.
That's incredible. So you can be like, this is how big my makeup forest is right now.
Yes.
Yes, some would say that the makeup forest is large.
It's art, though. It all goes to the beauty of art. Mm-hmm.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for asking that, Diandra. So on top of not only putting money in people's hands that I love who are doing things sustainably, I'm also planting a tree with every single purchase. So I want to bring this into like a real world lens here. This doesn't mean I don't shop at Trader Joe's. This doesn't mean I don't shop at Sam's Club. But what it means is I'm hitting up my local co-op first. I'm shopping locally first. I'm filling my cart with local fruits and vegetables and things that I love, that I truly should be eating anyways. And then I might hit up Trader Joe's later for the things that I truly want for my little splurges. So the power of shopping locally, not shaming yourself if you don't have access to a local co-op or farmer's market, because that is a privilege in and of itself. But if you have it, embrace it and use it. So that is my hot tip. Wow, what a great round of first hot tips, y'all. I am so impressed with this. That was so great. Let's move on to our second round of hot tips for everyone today. Sound good to you, Berna and Diandra? Beautiful. Sweet. Let's dive in. Diandra, let's start with you. What is your second hot tip?
Yes, absolutely. So my second hot tip is another money saver. We like saving money in this call and reallocating it to the things that we love, right? Like Mama Earth. My second tip is to care for your car. So the same way that we try to make our clothes last longer, we hear about that a lot when we talk about, saving the planet, is keep your clothes, take care of them, make sure that they last a really long time, but making sure that the cars that we already have, because like Pattie said, we're keeping it real. We have cars, we need to go to work, we got to pick up our kids from school. Making sure that we can take care of our cars and that they last a long time really helps protect the planet too. Taking care of our vehicles, which could mean just keeping up with regular routine maintenance, helps us keep them for longer, prevents them from emitting excess pollutants, keeps them out of landfills. Think of all that scrap metal, and less pollutants in the air means that we are breathing cleaner, brighter, healthier air. And that also means for my folks that have lots of forest around them that we can prevent more forest fires as well. So a well-maintained car is going to ride so much more smoothly and therefore more efficiently, which is going to save you gas money. It is going to save you repair money, and it is going to help you avoid excess emissions for Mother Earth.
I love it. That's so awesome.
Yes. And I think that going off of that, I'd love to know what Berna's second hot tip is.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm sitting here thinking about my car in the garage downstairs right now. She's an electric vehicle, and I'm like, I love you. I'm sending little love you waves down to my car at the moment. My second hot tip is apply pressure upwards. So I like to use this phrase that a friend taught me, which is that we are all compromised under capitalism, and it very much relates to budgeting and money. The fact is, because of that, we're all compromised under capitalism. It can feel very difficult to make individual decisions that feel sustainable and like we're helping. And the fact is, we are talking so much about what we could each do as individuals, and we don't want to put or kind of convince ourselves that it's up to all of us as individuals only to save the planet, when, there's facts like something like 75% of greenhouse gas emissions are done by the same 90 companies. While we are doing so much and as much as we can as individuals, there's also so much we can do to push upwards and apply pressure to the people who have lots and lots of power, oftentimes more than us on a scale, and push while we're pushing on ourselves to make consumer money moves that match our talk. We can push upwards to those in financial power. So what are some ways that we can do that? We can boycott and divest, meaning basically refusing to buy or taking our money away from any kind of brands or financial institutions or people that are not acting right to you. And while we're doing that, we can be vocal about the fact like, you are not getting my money until you act right. I'm taking my money away from you. Here's why. When we see other people do that, we get curious. We're like, why is it like that? Basically being vocal about taking your money power away or divesting and investing your money in a certain way really actually gets people in power listening. You can reach around to your network, say you're fundraising for something or you want to fund a cause that's really important to you and you're like, I don't have enough money to do this on my own. Literally reach around to your networks and get richer people to fund the causes that you care about. There are people who have the means and they care and they just don't know where to point it. Be the pointer for them. And also, you can show up on your political scene, your local political scene, and question the way that your local leaders spend their budget. They are accountable to you. They have a job because you gave them that job. And a lot of the times, these city records are public records. The budget is public record. And so you are their bosses. Go ahead and act like it and apply pressure to the folks around you because they answer to you. Just step into that power, is what I'm saying.
I love that
Yes.
so much, Berna.
Yes.
Yes.
What about you, Pattie? What is your second hot tip?
You know, it's funny you brought up everything you did because it plays into exactly what my hot tip is. And I'm so glad you educated us so much about applying pressure upwards because my hot tip is to divest from big banks. To your
Yes.
exact point, what people do not know is if you have money right now sitting in a big bank in the US, that money isn't sitting there. It is literally funding fossil fuel projects around the world. It is literally fueling the fossil fuels crisis. And so if we divest from big banks and we invest our money and we put our money in financial institutions like Aspiration that care about this planet, we are making such a positive impact. So when I divested from my big bank and switched over to Aspiration, now my money is actually supporting things that align with my values, supporting people that I really believe in, projects that I believe in. And I feel safe knowing that my money is with people who align with my ethics and morals. And not only that, but I'm getting to do amazing things like planting trees with every purchase. It is honestly amazing. I don't know why I did not do this sooner. And it has literally changed my life. And it's been the spark that's really like started me thinking about my money and my finances and my dollars as a huge way that I'm voting every single day for what I want to see the future be, right? If we can build this world, we can build another. Let's divest and do that and let's apply pressure. Berna, thank you so much for sharing that. Diandra, I am going to pass it to you for your third tip. Are you ready?
I am so ready. Okay, my third and final tip is my favorite one, last but not least, is to center your joy. Protecting our joy in this movement is so important in our environmental journeys, our sustainability journeys. It's so important. I don't know about y'all, but when I think of both all the hard work and all the beautiful stories and memories that my elders and our elders have nurtured and created, I'm reminded that experiencing joy, literally stopping to smell the flowers and creating space to roll around on the ground laughing with all my friends in my community is such an important part of our harmonious journeys with this planet. And I love the quote by Adrienne Maree Brown. If y'all haven't read any of Adrienne Maree Brown's work, I highly recommend you check it out. Books. When they say that there's no way to repress pleasure and expect liberation, satisfaction, or joy. That is a quote from her book, Pleasure Activism, The Politics of Feeling Good. Protecting your joy can be hard though, sometimes. And if you're having a hard time with this at the moment, you can start by just celebrating all the ways, really big, really small, that you're already showing up. Hindsight celebration is so key. Don't just keep looking to what's next and how you can do more and more and more. Celebrate all the ways that you have been out here protecting the planet.
I love that so much. It's so true, right? If we're not protecting our joy, what are we doing? If we're not trying to create a new culture that's built on true sustainability practices for our hearts and our minds to keep us going, I mean, that's what's up. That's the future I want to see. So I love that so much.
Exactly, exactly. But I know that we still have two more hot tips in the queue. Who wants to give their final hot tip first?
Hmm. Berna,
May
you got
I?
this. You got
May I?
this.
May I? I'm so fired up with this conversation. I feel like I'm vibing with very, very like souls, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm sad that we're now rounding on our last tip, but I have my last tip. And the last tip is, where is my deposit going? Very relevant to what Pattie was just saying, is that a lot of banks, financial institutions, your money, when you're depositing your money into a bank or an institution, the money oftentimes doesn't just sit there. Like Pattie was saying, they use it and they can put it towards projects that maybe you don't believe in. So you want to start questioning, where is my money going for real? I say skip whatever their mission statement says, skip whatever like press release they're going out there, and look for a certification by a third party. I'm gonna equip us with the sort of like the words and the phrases that you're gonna want to look for when you're looking at your banks and your financial institutions. You might be looking for, yeah, exactly. Take note, take mental screenshots. You are looking for B Lab certified or B corporations. And basically these are banks that have decided that, or they've questioned, is their impact equal to making a positive environmental impact as well. They have actually taken consideration of their accountability of what their company does versus what their impact is on the world. They might have pending B Corp status. This is a good thing. We're maybe looking for a company or an institution that is backed by the Global Alliance for Banking on Values. This is an international network of banks. It could be a small group of banks that also are looking, they have basically global view. These are banks that are like, what is my impact versus what our company is trying to do? You're also maybe looking for an institution or program that's part of the 1% for the Planet program. This means that if this bank or institution is part of the 1% for the Planet program, that means they've pledged to take 1% of their profit or gross sales and put them towards environmental nonprofits, which is so great. Now, all that to say, it's going to be very difficult for any of us to find a bank or a financial institution that checks all the boxes because, again, we are all compromised under capitalism, but we can start with those sort of like report card ticks and know that you have the power to pick and be choosy and, be very selective about where you put your money because that's your power. And now we have these amazing tools to figure out if the institution or the bank is right for us.
Berna, I'm so glad you brought that up because actually Aspiration is both of those things. They're not just B Corp certified, but they're also a member of 1% for the Planet. So they're doing so much on the back end to make sure that they're certified with third-party certifications that can make sure that they're really checking and holding them accountable for all the change they're doing behind the scenes to try to build a cooler planet, along with myself and ourselves, members of Aspiration's community. So thanks for bringing that up. I think that third-party certifications like that are really, really amazing in accountability, and accountability is extra important nowadays.
100%. It's a part of why I'm so psyched to be here and doing this, having this conversation with Aspiration, because it feels good. It feels good to be rooted in exactly what we're talking about and talking the walk literally inside of this recording. So, being held.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. All right, moving on, y'all. My final hot tip is nothing related to money and everything related to our sustainable selves, and that is to get outside and fall in love with nature. I think oftentimes we feel like we're told all the time we have to act for climate. We have to advocate for climate. We have to advocate for this, advocate for that. We have to change this, change that. We hope today you walked away with something that can help you with your finances, but first and foremost, we want you to just go outside and connect to nature, because if you go outside and you fall in love with nature, well, guess what? You fight for what you love. So if you can go outside, if you can be connected to nature, connected to yourself, connected to people that are different than yourself, you're going to be so much more ready to take action and fight for it. So we are so grateful you listened to each of our total of 9 hot tips for how you can create a cooler planet. Diandra, Berna, y'all killed it. Let's get a round of snaps for y'all. Oh, yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching this. We hope you took something away. Happy Earth Week, month, day. Let me remind you, this is the only planet with a Beyoncé on it, so let's all take action for her and for Mother Nature.
Yay!
See you later.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.